World War II was the most devastating conflict in human history, spanning 6 years from 1939 to 1945, and involving countries from every corner of the globe. It began with the invasion of Poland by Nazi Germany, led by Adolf Hitler, on September 1, 1939. This unprovoked aggression prompted Britain and France to declare war on Germany, setting off a chain of events that would engulf much of the world in violence and turmoil. The roots of the conflict can be traced back to the aftermath of World War I. The Treaty of Versailles imposed harsh penalties on Germany, fostering resentment and economic hardship. The rise of totalitarian regimes in Germany, Italy, and Japan, each driven by expansionist ambitions, set the stage for further instability. Hitler's vision for a greater German Reich, Mussolini's dreams of a restored Roman Empire, and Japan's quest for dominance in Asia all contributed to the tensions that erupted into war. In the early years, the Axis powers, Germany, Italy, and Japan, achieved a series of stunning victories. Germany's blitzkrieg tactics overwhelmed much of Western Europe, leading to the rapid fall of France in 940. Britain stood alone against the Axis onslaught, enduring relentless aerial bombardment during the Battle of Britain, but refusing to surrender. Meanwhile, in the East, Japan expanded its reach across China and Southeast Asia, seeking resources to fuel its military machine. The tide began to turn in 1941. Hitler's invasion of the Soviet Union opened up a brutal Eastern Front, while Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor brought the United States into the war. The conflict became truly global, with battles raging across Europe, Africa, Asia, and the Pacific. The Allies, Britain, the Soviet Union, the United States, China, and others, coordinated their efforts to resist and eventually roll back the Axis advances. World War II was not only fought on the battlefield, it was a total war affecting civilians on an unprecedented scale. The Holocaust, orchestrated by the Nazi regime, led to the systematic murder of 6 million Jews, along with millions of others deemed undesirable. Cities were bombed, economies were mobilized for war production, and entire populations were uprooted and displaced. As the war dragged on, the Allies began to gain the upper hand. In North Africa, Allied forces pushed back the Axis, securing the Mediterranean. The Soviet Union, at tremendous cost, halted the German advance at Stalingrad and began a relentless push westward. In June 1944, the D-Day landings in Normandy marked the beginning of the liberation of Western Europe. Meanwhile, in the Pacific, the United States adopted an island-hopping strategy, gradually closing in on Japan. The final months of the war were marked by intense fighting and unimaginable destruction. Berlin fell to Soviet forces in May 1945, and Hitler committed suicide in his bunker. Germany surrendered unconditionally, bringing an end to the war in Europe. In the Pacific, the United States dropped atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945, forcing Japan's surrender and ending the war. The legacy of World War II is profound. Over 70 million people died, and countless more were wounded or displaced. The war reshaped borders, toppled empires, and led to the emergence of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers. It also gave birth to the United Nations, an international effort to prevent such a catastrophe from ever happening again. The lessons of World War II continue to shape the world, reminding us of the dangers of unchecked aggression, the value of international cooperation, and the enduring human cost of war.